Hello, everyone. This is me, Steve Mendoza. This is going to be the first business activity of the term, and here's my quick overview and some guidance for my students. So, what you want to do first is read chapter one of the textbook, and the assignment itself is about three questions. So, if you started a business that made surfboards, what factors of production would you need to make your product? Where would you get them? Where would you get the money you need to pay for additional resources? So answer each question in the box below. Be sure to return to the assignment Dropbox in our D2L Brightspace course to submit your assignments. So question one, what are your factors of production needed by a surfboard manufacturer? Again, a manufacturer is basically someone that just makes a surfboard, simple terms. Now, if you remember the textbook, there's really four main factors of production. There's the workspace, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Now, workspace can also be defined as kind of land. So think about the land that the factory sits on, the electricity used to run the plant, and the wood or other raw materials from which surfboards are made. If you think about the labor, think about the people that actually make the surfboard. These are responsible for designing, shaping, assembling, and finishing the surfboards. Now, if you think about capital, the third one, this includes machinery, tools, and equipment for manufacturing surfboard. It also is the funds required for the startup costs. And lastly, that entrepreneurial cost is really just it's a vision for the business. It has the skills and ability to organize and really manage the business effectively. Now, in your response, beyond just labeling the four factors of production, go into detail, similar to kind of how I voiced over on kind of how you think about these different elements. Now, question two is where does the surfboard company get these factors of production? So we mentioned four, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Where does this stuff come from? So think, for example, the land. Um, come like think about where the land comes from. How do you decide on the land in which to operate and manufacture um, a surfboard? Think about the wood and raw materials. Where does that come from? What relationship do you need to have with suppliers? The labor. Well, where does the surfboard company get this specific labor from? Think about the employees. Where would you find the employees from? How would you decide what's a good employee and what's a bad employee? Factory. Um, think about like equipment and money and so forth. And then entrepreneurial skills, like how does one kind of get the vision for surfboard manufacturing? Perhaps it's a family business, for example. Like how do they get this specific vision? Things to kind of think about as you are kind of working through your assignment. And lastly, where does the company get money to pay for additional resources? There's a lot of sources for money, of course. If you think about personal savings, small business loans, there's grants, there's crowdfunding platforms, there's investors, partnerships, line of credits. You can generate additional income. Really, what I'm trying to hear or see through these responses is um, like how you think about sourcing, maybe startup costs associated with beginning this business, and also kind of the cycle of the operations for the business, because that's where it's also going to be getting money from. The manufacturer is going to use the resources provided by kind of households to produce surfboards. These surfboards are going to be sold to households who provide the company with revenue, and then the revenue is going to be used by the manufacturer to buy additional resources. This kind of creates a cycle, if you will, and that's how it creates and generates revenue um, to use for additional resources. So please go into depth with your responses, and hopefully this is helpful.